AD and LeBron and Russ had a meeting, and then everybody was at summer league, and we did all this pretty painting, and then the game came out, and we took the blanket off, and we were like, damn, that's ugly. and we spent the whole preseason painting it like we was Picasso, but it still didn't make it pretty, and that's why the body language is tired. You feel me?
Hey, thinking it's Picasso, you came out with a Gordon Gartrell. For those who watch the Cosby Show, look it up.
Okay, cultural reference.
The VC Show, let's go.
Welcome to the VC Show, presented by Caesar Sportsbook on Omaha Audio. I'm Vince Carter alongside Ros Gold-Onwude. Ros, what's going on? We're back at it again. What's new? What you got for us today?
What's new? The first week of the NBA season's about to wrap up. We are back.
That's right.
That's right. So, what has surprised you the most so far this NBA season?
I mean, there's a lot that has surprised me, and I'm gonna start with the Utah Jazz being 3-0, undefeated, and I think a lot of it has to do with Lauri Markkanen playing great basketball, and he's healthy. I mean, we've seen him when he's healthy, he plays great basketball, and I think keeping him healthy is going to keep the Cavs. Sorry, he's played for the Cavs. Going to keep the Jazz playing great basketball. But the one thing about it, what I think it surprises everybody, but that shows how good the coaching is over there in Utah, is that when you have a team that might not have the superstar like you had Donovan Mitchell, you let the ball find the open guy. And I think the ball movement, body movement has given Utah some success so far. And of course, the 0-3, I mean, it's a surprise. I mean, I guess some people aren't surprised, but I mean, just seeing, we're going to always talk about this, but the Lakers, where they are right now, it's not a surprise, but I'm just surprised just to see now we're starting to see body language issues already. I think that's the biggest surprise when you're talking about veterans.
Right. Well, to keep it on with the Jazz and their hot start to the season, like first and foremost, it's early still. Mm-hmm. Do you think that this is real or is it just early? Like, is this sustainable momentum that they started the season off with?
I mean, I think for them, this is the way you have to go about it. I mean, you don't want to start off slow and then try to build up your momentum. You want to hit the ground running, particularly in the West like they're in. So for them, they want to get as many wins as possible now while teams, if you would, around the West are struggling. I mean, obviously, we know Memphis is playing great basketball, Dallas, Golden State. There's some guys who are balling, but they want to just try to, right now, they can say, hey, we're 3-0, we're atop the West, and they can just hold on as long as they can. Yes, it's a long season. There's ups and downs, but right now, they're doing it the right way, playing team ball. They're playing their best basketball early. I mean, obviously, you hope they don't plateau early, but, if beggars can be choosers, nobody gave them a shot anyway. So you want to come out 3-0, catching teams like the Lakers who are struggling. I think Utah has the Lakers twice, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a great opportunity for them to capitalize.
Yeah, and I feel like for a while, we've just been kind of waiting for the continued blossoming and even breakout of Markkanen. Do you think that this could be that breakout, individual season for him, especially with the spotlight a little bit lower and the expectations certainly lower?
Right. And you don't have like the Garland, you don't have that Colin Sexton, the rookie, Mobley. You didn't have those guys there that he had to kind of fend for some offense. Now he can be the feature guy because everyone has gone there. Like you said, the lights are a little lower and you can just go out there and play basketball, but they're playing team ball. But when he's rolling, they play through him as well. So this is a great opportunity for him to show that he is definitely capable. And he showed flashes, obviously, in Cleveland as well as Chicago.
Yeah. And look, the Jazz were able to pull out a tough win, 1-point win over the Pelicans, who a lot of people said, hey, this is, don't sleep on the Pelicans. This is a sleeper team. This could be a very good team out of the West. But the caveat was always if they stay healthy. And not only did they catch an L, but I'm sad to see they came away with two, headline taking injuries. In that Zion Williamson has a hip contusion taken off of a fall out in the open court. And Brandon Ingram has a concussion. Now, it's early in the season, but I guess the main thing a lot of people are focusing on is Zion's injury, and should we be worried, given his history of injuries?
Well, it's a crazy, it's a scary situation and moment, especially for leapers and high flyers. And I say that because I mean he was in transition, about to do something freaky, looks like, and he cocked the ball back, and Clarkson did a great job hitting the ball out. And sometimes, Roz, when we're in the air like that, it's more so fear falling. So sometimes we panic and we put that hand down, and that's how we break our wrists. I want to say AD, that happened to him many years ago with the Pelicans when on breaking the fall. He's a big boy, so I mean, you don't want to fall on your wrist because that's a lot of body falling on there. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, you just got to teach a tumbling class. Honestly, like we learned how to fall at Carolina.
They taught you.
We're teaching us how to, when you're up in the air, falling, not telling us not to put our hands behind us or let your hands be the first thing falling, because that's the rest of your body falling on the wrist. And I say you break your wrists, hands, so on and so forth. So, but like it's a thing where you get up there, you're focused on the rim, because I'm trying to get up like in transition. I'm trying to get up in the air before a player can get to me. And as a guard, that's your only chance for a high flyer, is try to swipe over the top or try to catch the ball from behind. And I was in that situation one time with Shaq. Going baseline, trying to dunk the ball, and Shaq just stood there, hit me, and I remember it flatlined, and I was falling down, and your hands and feet go crazy, and I remember looking at the top of the Staples Center lights, like, oh man, and hit the floor, and I mean, I felt that pain, and it was all. I mean, every fall is all the same reaction. I mean, you kind of just get up there, and it was Shaq who hit me, so that fall, and I was like, what, 200, 210 maybe, like it was just. Yeah, I had no chance, but like I can understand this. It's more fear on the way down, because when you go up in the air, obviously if you jump in the air and you get knocked off, and you're able to land, cool. But when you're flatlined, anything can happen, and that's like that internal fear that gets to you.
Yeah, and you look at the play. Zion first makes an incredible block, but and then comes down the other way on the court, and he's going up in the open court and free. And as he's going up to throw it down, he gets touched, blocked, fouled, some kind of combination of that on the way up. He's obviously up high in the air, but for me, it's the way he falls down, like without protection of his body, and just kind of freely putting all that weight. Remember, he is a larger than usual basketball player. We often have talked about how his force of movement may affect body parts differently than a more lean or smaller man, especially at the speeds and the velocity and the power and the strength and the athleticism that he's moving at. We really haven't seen that kind of combination. So even his falls, might take a different toll on the body. And, it was really insightful and interesting to hear you talk about what it's like, first of all, to even be up that high, or to think about what that fall might be like on the way back down. But do you think for Zion, he needs to avoid being a player that's on the floor a lot, or?
I agree with that. I mean, obviously you don't want to fall. It's kind of the nature of the game. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to get hit. I started wearing, the tights with the pads in them to really cushion some of the fall. I mean, regardless, when you hit the floor, it's just what it is, because you're in. It's for hips and it's like a little tailbone thing. I mean, like I say, you're gonna fall. I mean, you're just trying to soften the blow as much as possible. It is what it is. It's like you have to kind of learn how to fall and kind of brace yourself. I mean, it's going to happen, and if you can feel up and find the softest place in your body to land, like that's kind of what it is. I mean, you can't. How do you avoid that without being aggressive? I mean, you're going to be aggressive. That's who he is. That's what he does. That's how he makes his money. That's why he's one of the more dominant players in the league, because of his ability to attack and get above the rim.
I don't think it's saying too much to say that he might need to be trained on how to fall or protect his body, because
I think all players do.
Right. It's volleyball players do it. Like there's a number of sports that teach you how to fall and roll and utilize that momentum and velocity into something that isn't just stopping short into the ground or into somebody else's body. Or, I remember learning about, especially as a female athlete, sometimes we're more prone to an ACL tear, the attention to detail we put into landing with a soft landing, not landing hard, getting your knee bent. But that's actually something like we paid attention to fight against, women tearing their ACLs when we were playing ball and stuff like that. Or in rehab and coming out of it. But I feel like for Zion too, the other side of this is not, it's gonna be hard because he's a human, but anytime Zion gets hurt, it's gonna be a headline. It's gonna be an extra squinty eye. It's gonna be, uh-oh. And you can't allow the mental side of that to mess with you either. Like, because already, NBA Twitter, they're starting to chirp a little bit. He tweaked something, I think, during preseason as well. And then here's a hip contusion. I think he needs to just hopefully free himself of the weight that's going to come with any nick and bruise that comes to him.
Yeah, you just got to look at it. This is the sport. It is what it is. I mean, it's unfortunate that injuries come about because, it's like, well, such and such didn't hurt. Yeah, but, they might not play that kind of. They might not play that style of basketball, that brand of basketball. It's just, it is what it is. It happens.
CJ McCollum goes down with a hip contusion, and we say, "Dang, CJ McCollum's out for a week or whatever it is." Zion goes down with anything, and it's eyebrow cocked. Uh-oh. Okay, he's not ready. Injury prone, and you don't realize the weight that comes with these reoccurring narratives. These, you start to walk with that baggage. People love, let me tell you about people. They love to put you in a box because it is easier for people to understand you when they can wrap you up in a little circle and put a bow on it. And they want to be able to say, oh, Zion, injury prone. Oh, Russ, can't shoot. Like, but people are more dynamic than that, but most aren't. But society, like, we're not. You want to oversimplify it. And so like you have to fight as a person to not allow, as Zion Williamson, to not allow the baggage and the need for simplicity and box making of fans and media talking heads to bog you down. You got to release yourself of those chains because I know they are trying to wrap them around his feet and make it hard for him to walk.
Well, Rod, at the same time, we also, as players, we have to understand what we do as players in this sport, and for the amount of punishment our bodies take day in and day out, along with practice. The folks who always have something to say about these guys being injury prone would struggle going through this as far as just body being tired. They would physically break down from just the amount of travel, play, not as much rest, figuring out how to do it. So, as players, like, I was just like, we're amongst the elite, and these things happen. How do you bounce back from it? You take your time, you get healthy, you go back out there, because Zion comes back, starts dunking on people, putting up the numbers again. Guess what they're going to say? Man, this boy's good. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the one that hurt me for him more than anything. You could see the joy and excitement for Zion being back on the floor again. It just shows he loves it, regardless of all of the past and the frustration of whether he should have been on the floor or not. That was all behind him because he's back playing the game he loves. And then this happens. So I just say to him, man, it happens. Take care of your body. Don't rush back. Do the same formula you did before. Heal, then come back and kill.
Right.
Because you don't want this to linger. Bruises and stuff like that, no big deal. But as a post player who plays with his back to the basket a little bit, you keep getting hit on it, Guess what? You end up back where you are.
Right. And a big shout out to Teresa Weatherspoon on the
Pelicans. Yeah, Spoon is man, let me tell you something. She's awesome.
Yeah, Spoon is awesome. And, she got passed over for a couple W jobs, WNBA. And you over there scratching your head, and that's happened, right?
But one closes another. She got vouched. Yes, sir. She got vouched by one of the young bright stars.
Right. But I'm saying, so here she is making a huge difference for the Pelicans organization. Agreed. And one of the great, young talents of this league. Zion Williamson pointed to Teresa Weatherspoon, WNBA legend of the New York Liberty, and said, when I was at my lowest and first of all felt I had to say I'm okay to everybody else, she caught me on a day where I was willing to be honest with her and tell her, I'm not doing so good. And he, talked about how she began to cry for him right there and just be able to show that emotion and compassion and empathy. And I do think that there is something special about a woman's touch in the ability to show that emotion so fully right there. No need to hide it or wrap it up behind, all the and I do think like that's a unique perspective you get from having diversity on your staff there, and also someone who has the credibility and the humanness and the competitive nature to understand why this hurts him so much. So I heard that story, and I heard Zion say, "That's my big sis," and when I needed it, she was there. I can't speak highly enough about Spoon and her passion for the game. So just shout out to her.
Absolutely, she's a junk, man. Like, gotten to know her over the years, and just talking with her, and just she's a great person. Like you said, obviously her compassion has now shined through on this younger generation who I think needs it at times because of social media and how brutal it can be. You need an outlet. You need somebody in your corner like that to bounce things off of, and can be brutally honest when you feel like you can't do that publicly all the time.
All right, people, we're brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the greatest sports betting app ever, and honestly, the only one you need. It's not just about the big bonuses and boosts and promos that you get. It's the fact that every time you bet, whether you win or lose, you're earning towards the types of perks only Caesars can offer. Free stays, concert tickets, bonuses, and more. That's because when you download the Caesars Sportsbook app, you become a Caesars Rewards member, and that means perks. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-522-4700. Football season is here, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great NFL ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats, life happens live. Receive a reward credit equal to the average price of 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions.
All right, so let's transition to another team that is on the other side of surprising, or I don't know, maybe you're not that surprised, but definitely not on the side of, definitely not on the side of good news to start the season. It's the Lakers starting off 0-3. And look, it's a small sample size, but the Lakers 3-point shooting is 21% on 39 attempts per game. Lakers ranked 22nd last season. But 4 of their top 5 3-point shooters from last year are gone. Look, Vince, it's not like you haven't been on the show saying they need more shooters, but what does this feel like to you? Does it feel heavier than it is, or is it early?
It's feeling heavier than it is now, and it is early. And the problem is what's scaring me is one. One of our guests, Coach Darvin Ham, saying we don't have time for feelings. Like you're at this point already 3 games into the season. This is usually like a couple of weeks in where it's like, man, wait a minute. I thought I was going to get more touches or not 3 games in. And the other thing that worries me.
Feelings 3 games in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then the other thing is like the body language. The body language already and from your veterans, that's not good. So I like that, that LeBron is not allowing, I'm going to say us, but media to creep in and turn LeBron versus Russ or Pelinka or anyone. It's still us, regardless of how they feel, honestly or internally. Roz, I want to say this. I think if I ever had the opportunity, and like I know Russ, but we don't talk like that, I would tell Russ, don't let this game and media and the talk steal your joy of playing basketball, because we all know Russ loves to play basketball, and we don't see happiness in his game right now, and we're I feel like we're seeing him fight with the talking more so playing the game, and it's tough to see, and I hope sooner than later the Lakers, the organization, the team, everyone comes together and they do what's right for everyone.
Yeah. What is that? What is right for everyone?
That's what they have to figure out. I mean, I think at some point, like, he's unhappy. He's trying to find his way. He's trying to figure his game out. Like, when's the last time you've seen Russ settle and not drive to the basket, attack with force, with anger? Like, we don't see that. We see settling, shooting. Maybe, I don't know. And this is all just me just speculating, but sometimes I feel like Russ is shooting the jump shot to spite everyone else. It's just, I'm just going to shoot it. I don't know. And I think it's frustrating for him because, like, it's like, and I say steal your joy on the court because obviously when he talks about his family and that's his outlet once he goes home, but you still have to deal with finding joy on the court because he's still a Hall of Famer. He's still a superstar player. And this is a prime example about opportunity, being in the right position. So sometimes we see players like, man, what happened to this guy, that guy? When he was here, he didn't. And it's all about being finding the right fit for you as a player.
Right.
And I think that's what needs to be done at this point is finding a right fit before it's too late. And he kind of gets labeled kind of like what was done to Carmelo.
Yeah.
They tried to say it was over, and until he found that perfect fit in Portland, and now it was like, oh man, Melo should have never been out the league.
Yep.
So I just hope for him. Like I said, he's not a good friend. He's a friend. I know him. We talk, but I just hope that it gets settled because it's going to bleed into their season and into the narrative of Russ and who he really is for the rest of his career.
Right. And you know what? There's a lot to unpack. And I'm going to go to one of your earlier points, which was, I loved seeing LeBron not allowing himself to be drawn in with the media to pile in on Russ. And I too agree with that. I also think it is even having to address it is a piling on Russ. The fact that LeBron even says, I'm not going to be a part of this is a part of being a part of it.
And you can see the frustration when he said that.
And it fills the narrative. You are now in a situation where defending Russ or even showing up for him is actually a burden that players and coaches have to hold. You got Darvin Ham having to go up there and say anything, rightfully to defend his player and show family style having each other's back. But you've got Darvin Ham at moments, you want to show that your commitment is to winning and understanding the time and situation and to make the right decision. And sometimes
tough position.
There's so much dedication. And this is not Russ's fault. This is media versus Lakers now. For anyone Lakers to have Russ's back, it's almost sometimes like you've almost got to not even speak what you really know as to be true or the right way to see the game or even what you really want to express because you need to hold that down first. And I'm sure that it has put a number of players and coaches in an odd position. And that's when the narrative is becoming bigger than the team. Like, you talked about how, and I'll just real quick, like,
go ahead.
You said people's body language was already looking fed up or tired, and it's only 3 games in. That's because the story is old. This is a carryover. The actions, we've seen it before. You were hoping we, including us, painted the preseason in pretty paint. We said, oh, we had Darvin Ham on. We said, oh, we're going to have Russ. He's going to play a complete game, anything for the team. And the 3, AD and LeBron and Russ had a meeting. And then, everybody was at Summer League. And we did all this pretty painting. And then the game came out and we took the blanket off and we were like, damn, that's ugly. And we spent the whole preseason painting it like we was Picasso, but it still didn't make it pretty. And that's why the body language is tired. You feel me?
Hey, thinking it's Picasso, you came out with a Gordon Gartrell. For those who watch the Cosby Show, look it up.
Okay, cultural reference.
But no, I just think on the flip side, it's going to have to be some buy-in from Russ as well, and understand like this is just the situation it is, and I also think it's a shot to the ego as far as like Russ has been Russ for a very long time, and the toughest thing to accept is not now being in as a closer. You're sitting there watching all of a sudden new uncharted territory for him, if you would. And sometimes it takes a little getting used to it because it's a shot to your ego. I'm speaking from experience. Starter, go-to guy, all-star, this, that, the fourth. And all of a sudden you get a new role and it sounds good and you buy in until you have to really buy in. And sometimes it's not that easy, and we all handle these situations differently. Another guy, Allen Iverson, went through those situations for different teams where he did not want to come off the bench and he could not handle coming off the bench. And that's why a lot of us felt like, man, Allen Iverson should have still been in the league for a long time, but he did not want to be in that role. And I think Russ is in that right now. And, it's either you buy in or you don't. That's just what it is. And you either find a team where you can play that might not be a championship team where you can fulfill what you want as a player or a person that's playing, or you buy into an opportunity to go deep into the playoffs and have that opportunity to play in the finals again. Not that they're going to play in that, but I'm just saying, like, you just have to make that decision. And it is a shot to the ego. And you have to sit with yourself sometime and uncloud the frustration and uncloud the noise and be able to sit with yourself and say, okay, what do I want out of the rest of my career here on out, however long you want to play? And that was kind of one of those conversations I had with myself. I said, okay, reserve role, cool, let's do it. Now, how can I still be me in my new role? How can I so I started watching film on different guys. I started learning how to be now me in this new role. And yes, it's going to be less touches, so I have to lock in earlier. We heard Russ say, I didn't know how to prepare myself because I wasn't out there as a starter. It's like these things. Okay, well, how do we fix that problem to buy in? You know what I'm saying? So you remember one of the things I said before, the honeymoon stage is always great, but it's when the regular season starts is how it really looks and what we really think and how we really feel. And I think this is that situation. We're seeing show its ugly face early because Nike is like, all right, cool. Yeah, it's all talk, but I'm me. I'm going to figure it out. And then it's not working. So it's a little give and take from both sides. And I think Russ kind of has to dig deep until further notice. He just has to dig deep and just buy in. I think if Russ attacks and he doesn't make shots or whatever, nobody will have a problem with that at all because he's great at that. He's legendary at his position for being an attacker. And we don't see that. We don't see that passion and that scowl and that Russ Westbrook that people feared. We don't see that right now.
Well, I think that also comes with, so first of all, I appreciate the point you're bringing up where it's like, it's a two-way street. And, Russ his approach could be evolving because his game is evolving and so is his circumstance. But it also seems to me when I watch the game down the stretch, there seems to be perhaps distraction from, because otherwise the other option is Russ is not making good basketball plays. So it's either Russ is not making good basketball plays or something is impeding his ability to do so. Okay, do you understand what I'm trying to say? The two options are. And I'd rather believe than to say, oh, you know what? The consistent number of basketball plays that you might raise your hand and say, didn't think that was the right decision to make. I'd rather say that happened because, it's just he's struggling to figure out the rhythm. You know what I mean? And
yep.
And perhaps that has to do with all of this outside noise, because some of them it's just decisions. And I'm watching him actually. Magic Johnson. Don't even. It's not even me who should say. Let's listen to Magic Johnson, one of the greatest point guard of our generation in passing and this decision making. Let's hear what Magic Johnson had to say. Magic said he felt that in a recent interview that Russell should take it back on how he's been responding and clapping back at fans and media members. Instead of fighting them, just focus on the game. And like there have been some clips of Russ. Did you see the most recent one? A fan said something to him, and Russ walked out the huddle and checked the fan, and the fan had nothing to say. Like literally just like went silent. And he checked him, right? And it was funny. Like I watched it and I was like, see, there's a lot of fake tough guys that think they can say anything, and Russ checked him. But I also felt like these types of videos of Russ versus fans is starting to add up. And to Magic Johnson's point, maybe that's not where the energy needs to be. You know what I mean? What do you think?
And I agree. And it's a two-way street with that as well, in my opinion, because it's like, yes, he's trying to dig himself out of it, get out of his own head. But not any player wants to be disrespected. Not any player wants to be talked to like that. Like, some of us haven't been in that type of hole before and might not understand what it's like to get out of that hole at the same time. Like, we can say what we think, but we all handle things differently. Like we talked about KD and how sometimes he should just focus on this and not clap back on social media. Well, I mean, that's just what he does. Like, he has time for it. And Russ, like right now, is in a situation where he's.
But I'll jump in and say I feel like the difference there, at least for now.
No. Go ahead.
Is that KD seems to be in on the joke right now, where the turn of tide on Russ feels like people think that they're joking on him. Would you?
No, I got you. I got you. No, I'm just saying. But like right now, we're talking about like Russ clapping back. Yeah, I agree. It's easy to say, Russ, man, just block the outside noise. But like, it's heavy right now. Think about it. Like you said it. You said it. It's a carryover. This is like not something new where I can like, all right, cool. Let me just whatever. This is a carryover. This is like all summer. Oh, Russ is going to be traded. Where will he be traded? It didn't happen. So now he got to walk into training camp with that happening. Now he walks in there and plays. Okay, now we're hearing about the narrative of shooting or how, maybe he should be coming off the bench and all these things. Then this games happen. Now he's not playing well along with all of that. So like you said before, Ross, it's just building up. So where like, for a fan to disrespect, like you don't want to hear that. Like, bro, come on out here and try it.
So would it get in your
So
head?
I understand that side of it. It just depends on the moment. It's been times where, yeah, I've definitely had something to say back to fans. And, because it's like sometimes they go above and beyond and feel like it's okay. And it's he funny, when, but if Russ had a great game, it's okay. And we don't say anything. So, it's like you said, like he checked them. It's like, come on, man. We need you, bro. Like, what?
Right. He
like,
changed that real quick. Oh, okay.
So it's just, so it's just an unfortunate situation for players to be in. And we have to, for us all the time, we have to have this conversation like, oh, we got to ignore it or something like, like I always ask back, like, could you, if you're walking out there, Roz, after a game, I'm talking about reporting and somebody has something crazy. Oh, such and such better. Or you terrible, man. I heard that junk. Well, after I'm talking about things building up in your mind from whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Oh gosh. You're gonna in men's sports. Do you know the type of nonsense I have seen?
That's what I'm saying. So
sometimes infuriated where there are moments I do want to clap back. I want to be like, yo, mama. But you looking at people who haven't even, accomplished half, not even a quarter of what you've accomplished in your life. Right. How dare you speak to so-and-so in this way? As people Kevin Durant infamously once said, he said, who are you? Like he said, I remember he was in a press conference. He said, who are you? Like that was a moment. Anyway, that was a funny moment if you were there for the Warriors beat them. But in any case, to keep it moving too, because it's easy to spend a whole show on Russ, but to finish on the Lakers though, quiet as kept, Vince, and what is, it won't steal the headlines as much as a Russell Westbrook conversation will. Russ's minutes down the stretch wasn't, prolific by any means. And certainly there were mistakes made, but that he wasn't the only one that was, missed opportunities to win the game or made mistakes or down the stretch. You know what's most disappointing to me for this Lakers loss, and it was against the Trailblazers, is that they were in complete control to win it. They could have won this game. It was absolutely within their hands, even without the 3-ball. Here the game was, and you've got Anthony Davis and LeBron James, generational talents. And, they're going to come down and say, oh, Russell Westbrook shouldn't have shot that shot when he did in the final few seconds, or he shouldn't have been subbed back in the game. But it's a team game, and there were many moments where the Lakers as a unit didn't look great. And what's sad about that is they're veteran, so like there were a few players that didn't hit a game-winning opportunity.
Yeah, it's just a part of the circus, and you also said that it's the circus of the Los Angeles Lakers, and like I say, until it's unfortunate what I'm going to say, but until something is done, a move is made, they're going to deal with this constantly, night in and night out, and you can kind of see the frustration, I think, in how Darvin Ham delivered back his answer. Like, we don't have time to be, we don't have time for feelings. I'm trying to figure out how to win games. It's frustrating, and I don't think he meant it like that with the aggression, but they're tired of hearing it. Like, we understand what's going on. Yes, and they want to hear it from the coach, and, everybody just has to – it's a learning situation right now, and like I said, everything – and I think a lot of things that's going to be said from here on out until something's happened is going to get taken out of context a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because of this, you're tired of it. So after a while, it's more of a bite back, bro. Right. We trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure this out. But, we saw Darvin on here, man. Like, he doesn't take no junk, but he's a great dude, man. And I think he has the support of the team. It's just everybody as a unit has to block that noise out, because as soon as it creeps in, Roz,
I know.
It's going to be tough over there.
I know. I'm going to try and remember Darvin Ham as he is right now.
Yeah.
As a warm, I'll say easy to talk with, willing to discuss with you, positive feeling coach. Early in the tenure of his career, I'll try to remember him here, because
this is a tough job.
Media is going to make him have to make him hard and cold and short.
But think about that.
We had Darvin Ham. Let me give you a reporter story. We had Darvin. This is a beautiful thing. Like, as we say this very positively. So, I had him for a first quarter or a third quarter interview in the game broadcast, and it was I think preseason. Yeah, Timberwolves. And he gave an answer that was so thorough and fulfilling and long that my producer actually said, don't ask the second question. We'll cut it there, because he was so long. And we had a nice chuckle. We was like, oh, he must be a first-year head coach.
Right.
And happy to see me. Like, give him in year 6, bro. He gonna be there like, yeah, the ball movement was good.
Yep. We need to defend better.
Right. Like, we should be so thankful he's willing to talk with us. Honestly, give him till mid this season. I bet you we lose a little pleasantry.
And Roz, we got to think about this. The job that he has is always under the microscope in the spotlight. It's just the facts and the way it is. And these are the things when the team are not on top, you have to deal with. That's what comes with. Because if he has this struggle anywhere else for some in some smaller markets, the headlines are different. He gets a pass, if you would. Obviously you don't have LeBron James on your team, possibly. Or you don't have LeBron James on your team if you're somewhere else, and things are different. Like, he comes in with the expectation to go deep into the playoff and win.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, that's enough Lakers. There's other teams in the league. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah, what else you got?
Because we can do this. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have ambitious hiring goals for the last quarter of 2022? With a powerful hiring partner, big goals are no big deal. You need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. Indeed makes hiring all in one place so easy because it takes 10 minutes or less for most small business employers to post a job. According to U.S. Indeed data, Indeed also has a jaw-dropping pool of talent. In fact, 3 out of 4 of U.S. online job seekers search for jobs on Indeed each month, according to ComScore. Join over 3 million businesses worldwide using Indeed to hire great talent fast. Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to sponsor your job post at Indeed.com/VC Show. Offer good for a limited time. Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/VC Show. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Let's talk about the Sixers, man. What's going on in Philly? James, okay, I got a cool stat. James Harden, here's something provided by our wonderful production team. James Harden has dribbled the ball 1,507 times through 3 games this season for the Sixers. The rest of the roster combined for 1,242 dribbles. So the team has dribbled less than Harden has altogether. Make anything of that?
I think that comes with James Harden being your point guard already. I mean, he's, he holds on to that ball. Like, I wanted to see, me personally, I wanted to see Joel have more of a splash early. And I say that because of his disappointment for the last 2 years, particularly last year, feeling he should have won MVP. And I thought this was a chance for him to come out and say, you know what? Y'all gonna vote. Y'all see me this year. And we haven't seen that for whatever reason. I know he had the injury early, still getting into NBA game shape, if you would. So there's a lot of things. I think Doc has to figure out how he's going to. You got to get that ball, Maxey, the ball. Mm-hmm. I mean, that kid, he deserves it. He's earned the right to be, part of the big 3. And, then there's Tobias Harris. So they just got to figure it out. And one thing that Doc said.
You just knocked out Tobias. You done with that?
No, I'm saying you got to figure out. I mean, you got to get Tobias some touches as well. But I think Maxey is trending upward as a star. And one thing Doc said is crazy to have to say this about a team who played together last year. I don't care for more than 5 games, you know what I'm saying? But they played together last year. He's like, we're not ready to win yet. And it's like you have a team that can be capable, that can compete in the East for an opportunity to represent the Eastern Conference, and you're not ready to win out the gates. Like, I feel like these teams have to be ready to win early. Yo, you're tripping.
No, there's a mosquito that's been terrorizing me.
I was like, yo, what you doing over there? Okay. But no, I mean, I feel like.
How much more do you, the whole thing, while you were talking, I was looking, I'm like, wait a second, didn't Joel Embiid just drop 40 points? What more does Joel Embiid need to do here that he needs to make a bigger splash? He's averaging like 30 something. What more did you need? And also, I'm so sorry for trying to kill that mosquito.
Yo, I thought you were trying to get my attention. Like, yo, wait. I'm like, what? My bad.
I don't know. It's why are there even mosquitoes here? But it's been terrorizing me in this house, and I'm tired of it. So he tried to fly by, and I was like, I've had enough of you.
I just, it's like this decision.
What do you want from Joel Embiid, bro? For real. What more do you need besides a W?
Yeah. Demand the ball late.
Points, double doubles. What more do you need from Joel? I mean,
Doc, give me the ball. Let me give me the ball. Like right now, you want to be MVP of the league and show that right now. Give me the ball. Yeah, he has 40 points, double. Cool. Give me the ball. Let get on my shoulders right now. Yeah, I got you, James. Yeah, cool. You back. You fit. I got it. But I'm rolling right now. Give me the ball. Like that's going to have to be the sign. So because like when he's taking over and deal with the result. Deal with the result, like whether you win it or not, because I think that sets the tone for his mentality. His mentality as the MVP. You know, just think about like we talk about LeBron saying we got to. We say like LeBron says. Yeah, but still, like we talk about LeBron says AD, we got to play through him. But what does LeBron do when things are going bad? I got it. Get on my shoulders. Yeah, I'm 38. You know, but it's just the mentality. I mean, and I know people say, "Oh, LeBron, the mentality." It doesn't matter. Right now, Joel has to make it his team, regardless of who's on over there with him.
Right, but there's a way to go about it, and I say that. I mean, first of all, respect to you because you're Vince Carter. So when you talk about how someone needs to take over, that's well respected. I will give the insight of someone who, you know, has to be around huddles and practices and kind of, you know, read energies and get quotes and comments and things like that. And I would say that in knowing both of them, that creating a confrontational or immediately hostile, and
it's not confrontational
or any type of environment. Right. That's my point, was that the way it has gone about would matter from what I've seen from the parties we're discussing. You know?
Well, maybe. Like, okay, so what I'm saying, Roz, is like in a timeout, in a situation where you need a basket, before coach draws up a play, give me the damn ball, bro. Give it to me. Give it here, because I think James gonna respect that too. Oh, shoot, because he's riding for, you know, you see what I'm saying? Because if it's flip where James feel like I'm rolling and I can go get this bucket on this guy in front of me, cool. I feel like then you earn the respect of the locker room. Like, bro, here's our leader.
Yeah.
You know, Dirk was kind of.
I thought
Dirk was like that. No, not yelling.
No way.
No. Like but you say Dirk had those moments. Like we know how Dirk is, cool guy. But when he wanted the ball, he's like, "Yo, give me the ball. We're like, "Oh, big dog is smoking." So I feel like sometimes, like you do that, you flex your muscle a little bit, and your guys will follow because they know he's about his business and he's trying to win, and everything kind of falls from there.
Okay, well spoken. Well, guess what, Vince? Give me the rock.
There you go. I'm gonna put you where you want it, at the elbow, at the free throw line. Here you go. ISO, do your thing. Because I think Joel, like you said, he's scoring 40 on people. Like Joel can score when he's in that mode. Joel can score on anybody. Double team, he can beat a double team. He can beat his man one-on-one before a double team gets there. But yes, guys, you notice there's a difference between a guy catching the ball, dribble, then the double team comes. There's another look what we used to do to Shaq. When the ball is in the air, Shaq catches it, we're already on the way. They're taking that away from him. So there's a respect and understanding what Joel can do with the ball. So his mentality is like, all right, cool. That means, y'all know this guy can't guard me one-on-one. Yeah. Barbecue chicken, as Shaq said. I got to eat him up, attack the rim. Sometimes the mentality sometimes, and a lot of my guys will always say, like, and they're going to laugh when they see this, when he catches the ball, just take one dribble and just go try to dunk it. I don't care if you're close or not. It's just mentality. It's just mentality. Then referees start giving you calls, and after a while, like, you're going to start seeing guys calling for help. Hey, make sure y'all come on this double team. The ball in there. Help, where's my help? Right. So I just think he takes that approach and just see what happens.
Okay. All right, I'm with it. So you're the Embiid whisperer. That's what he needs to do.
I don't know. I would say that to his face, though. That's what I would tell him.
What would you say? What would you tell Harden to his face?
I mean, keep doing what you're doing and use that brother that you have there, because Joel Embiid can make the game easier for James Harden. You know, because if he's getting double teams, with the ball passed in the air, as soon as he catches it, all Joel has to do is make the right pass. Swing. It's either Maxey, who can drive, extra kick, Harden gets open jump shots, and he doesn't have to work so hard. They can play off of each other. We already know what the pick and roll can do. James' ability to make the right play, but I think the approach for James can score anybody when he wants to. But sometimes as a star player like he is, kind of like LeBron, he's just planting seeds. We're playing through AD. We go as far as AD goes. Well, I like to hear James say sometimes, yeah, we know it's James' team. He's a Hall of Famer, all-star, superstar. But we go as far as that guy Embiid goes. establish him. Establish him, do that. And I think he can do that. It will mean something. They had a whole off season together. And I feel like they've built a rapport, obviously in the pick and roll. But if Joel is hearing James saying stuff like that, guess what? He's gonna go for it. And it's at the end of the day, it's gonna make the game easier for James, in my opinion. But this thing now on a double team swing ball, and now James gets the ball with a live dribble instead of already dribbling the air out of it first. Come on, man.
Yeah, and I think that's key, like for people to establish and understand roles, on the team. That'll only make it better for everybody else. So I completely agree with you. And you know what time it is.
We'll see.
We're going to keep an eye. We'll be talking about the 76ers all season long, I'm sure. But Vince, it's time to go.
Just do it.
That you wanted to hang out more?
I mean, you know how we do. We got a lot of. We always got something to talk about.
Vince, he will do this show for 2 hours.
Heck yeah! Hey, we feeding it to the people. We giving them something. Hey, they listening to us. Like, yeah, what else y'all got?
What else y'all got? We got more, but.
But Boss Lady said we gotta go, good people. So we appreciate y'all as usual.
That wasn't a mosquito this time.
That was rapid.
All right, thanks for kicking it.
Yes, always a pleasure. We are out. Let's go.